Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Highland Community College and Oculus IT.
Colleagues, good afternoon. It is approximately 1:10 here in New Jersey. Welcome to today's briefing that will be mostly conducted by Nathan Helson, the Director of Information Technology Services at Highland Community College, which would be a bulk of what we do and what we cover today. Before we get started, we have institutions I would like to acknowledge from all throughout the U.S., ranging from Spartanburg Methodist College, Salem International University, Southern University and A&M College, Donnelly College, Iowa State University, Beckfield College, Southwest Wisconsin Technical College, University of Wisconsin La Crosse, Rowan University, California State University Northridge, East Central College, and many others who have don't want to waste everyone's time to name, but welcome to everyone. So basically, this would be as you can see on your screen, this would be the trajectory for today's briefing. The follow-on after Nathan will include a Q&A session where we'll welcome all your questions. You can post your questions in the web conference pane during the course of the webinar or at the tail end, and we'll try and respond to them as they come in or whenever it makes sense. The ideal outcome from this briefing is to basically learn about Nathan and Highland Community College, what their context was, what they did with the project, and what their outcomes were, when they upgraded their LMS system, which is Moodle. Just as a footnote, many of you are existing clients with Oculus. For those who are unfamiliar with Oculus ID, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but just an overview. Oculus has over 400 plus clients in primarily the higher ed and preferably in the K-12 space. So we are pretty much exclusively focused in the education domain. We service everyone from the Ivies to private and states and 2-year and 4-year institutions as such. So basically, just as a a bit overview of what Oculus ID does with LMS systems, you can see on your screen. While this webinar is mostly focused towards Moodle, Oculus ID does service other LMS systems such as Blackboard, Canvas, D2L, and the range of services include from implementation to upgrade to customization services, to migrations, single sign-on, configuration for websites, hosting solutions, to complete end-user and manager or instructor level support. Since Oculus IT has worked with so many institutions, for those of you who are already using Moodle or any other LMS system for that matter, and would like to ensure that you're following the best practices, we have designed an audit for essentially less than $1,000 to ensure that your Moodle system is configured correctly, you're using it in the right manner, and essentially a complete audit of your environment. Also, if you're looking for an upgrade, if you're running an older version of Moodle, you can upgrade your Moodle version to the latest 3.0, which is, we do know there's 3.2 out, but the most stable one at this point of time is Moodle 3.0. So you can upgrade your Moodle version similar to what HCC did and make use of this limited time promo that we have for about $5,000. And if you would like to do the upgrade yourself, or would just like us to provide you support or just be like a second set of eyes to your upgrade activity. Or if you just want general day-to-day support, like an end user or an instructor level or manager level support, or if you'd like to set up monitoring services to ensure that your Moodle is up and running, and that your database space is not running out, or you're not running into any other issues, you can use our third promo for the day for Moodle monitoring and support services for as low as $2,500. That is the advertisement portion from today's briefing. We're now going to move the stage to Nathan and the briefing from Highland Community College. Nathan, at this stage, I'm going to kick this over to you. If you can please take us through your institution and project, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Paul. As we mentioned earlier, my name is Nathan Hensel. I'm with Highland Community College in Freeport, Illinois. I'm the Director of Information Technology Services here at the college. And we're a two-year community college serving the northwest corner of the state of Illinois. And our college was founded back in 1962, and we have more than 60, probably 65 applied and transfer degrees, community education, and business training offerings here at the college. We also have theater, art, music opportunities for the community as well. And our students were accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, and we're a member of the North Central Association's Quality Improvement Program, or AQIP. So let's see, we serve about 5,000 students each year in our credit programs, adult education and business institute and community education programs, just to give you an idea of our size. So that's just a little bit about the institution, and I think if we go on to the next slide a little bit, we'll kind of talk a little bit about the project and about Moodle and our choice for Oculus IT. The first thing, if we want to start a little bit on talking about what our challenges were with our existing environment and what we had when we were using Moodle 1.9. We had been using Moodle 1.9 for quite some time, and we were using it with a hosted Moodle provider, and we were not getting the service that we were hoping to get, and we were not getting enough flexibility and customizations that we wanted to do to be able to make the system unique to our institution. So we didn't put together a full RFP per se, but we did put together a list of our needs and what we were looking for, and started to pursue some alternate options for getting us off of version 1.9 and up to 2.6. Let's see if we go to the next slide, please. So with our list of needs, we did conduct several demos and calls with other cloud-based hosted Moodle providers and partners, and we just weren't quite able to find the right hosting and support partner that met our needs for our customizations and at a cost that we wanted to pay. So what we found was that we were really looking for somebody that would be able to augment and support us on the things that we needed help with. We had the infrastructure here, we had on our campus, we have the staff that have knowledge in certain areas, but not being a large institution, sometimes we don't have the redundancy and the backup for all the mission critical pieces that we need necessarily. So we were looking for somebody that could help us, if somebody were out or somebody were out of the office, or with some of the larger upgrade projects that maybe require some deeper skill sets than what our staff had. So we, as we were continuing on our discussions with different vendors, we had conversations with Oculus IT and really found them to be very very able to meet any need that we wanted to. If we wanted them to do something and help us with that, they would. If we didn't and we wanted them to focus on something else, they would. And likewise too, they will grow into other needs that we have if we wanted to change either our hosting arrangement or change some other additional support offerings for our faculty or our students as well. So I think the big takeaway that we as an institution had with Oculus IT is that they're flexible enough to be able to do just what you need, and basically structure their pricing around that, so that you're really not paying for services you don't need or don't want to use. So I think that's our big win as an institution, was the ability to just price what we need for what we need, and it keeps it affordable for us, and we have experts that can do certain portions of the system and administration, and they can help us with the areas that we need help with. So If we could go on to the next slide, please, I think we'll get a little bit more into the actual project detail. So the project was conducted in two key phases. The first phase was, of course, what took the longest. We built out our test system. Oculus IT and their project planning team had helped us put together a detailed, comprehensive project plan for all the tasks and dependencies that were necessary for setting the system up and getting everything running. Our staff took a portion of that, and then their staff took a portion of that, and we divided that all up in the planning phase of the project. After we got the test system built and validated and spent some time actually conducting validation testing on that, then we went ahead and cloned the test system to a production system and then did all the necessary changes to make the cutover to a live system. So if we could go ahead to the next slide, please. So in phase one, when we built the test system, of course, we had introductions with the Oculus IT consultants, and we established connectivity for them to work on systems here on campus. We worked together and built out the virtual machine environment using our existing on-campus VMware infrastructure. Our staff prepared the OS. So at this point, we were using an operating system and a VMware infrastructure that was very much the same that our staff are used to managing and maintaining for all of our other virtual machines and servers that we have here on campus. We back it up the same as everything else and have disaster recovery in place for that as well. So we're comfortable with moving in that direction. Let's see. So then the Oculus IT team came in and helped us with the Moodle 2.6 application and database install, and then we had a list of customizations that were unique to our environment that we wanted them to help us out with. They helped with that. And then a lot of the work was focused around the actual course migration method and process, just making sure that the courses were tested and migrated and that everything worked with the course migration piece. We, of course, then added on user account synchronization using secure LDAP, and then we also integrated it into our single sign-on system using Shibboleth. And then, of course, testing of that system and validating it internally here within IT, within library staff and academic computing, and some key faculty members as well that were a part of our testing team. So we'll go on to our next slide, please. So after we validated that that system was going to work exactly how it was supposed to work, we planned out the adequate amount of time and resources that were necessary for on both the Oculus IT side and the Highland side, and announced the cutover and the downtime window between semesters, and then we just used the native VMware clone process to actually copy the test system that we spent our time building on into a second production server instance. Updated, various things, IP, DNS name, etc., and then reestablished some Shibboleth connectivity, updated the user sync process, and then began our testing from there. So really, the cutover to the new system did not take all that long at all, and we actually were ahead of schedule on the cutover itself. And of course, then the beauty of doing it this way was the fact that we then had a redundant demo test system that we were able to do any testing on if we wanted to do some other customizations or upgrade testing and things of that sort. With our previous hosting provider, we did not have a way of making any modifications in a sandbox test environment, and that was always some cause for concern that we weren't able to validate any changes we wanted to make and what the impact of those changes would be before going live. So now that we're actually able to have that, that was a nice advantage of us not only hosting it on site but also having it having two systems. So something that we were finding was hard for us to actually receive from other hosting providers was the ability to have two separate systems. So if we could go to the next slide, please. So our project, as I mentioned before, our project was completed earlier. It was completed 1 week ahead of schedule, and we allowed our faculty back into the system earlier than expected, which of course brought positive feedback for the project as a whole. The faculty have appreciated new features in the latest version, and then it was also integrated with other web applications into a single sign-on system, and that has also, of course, brought many positive feedback comments from students and faculty alike. Let's see, go on to the next slide after that, please. So we just had a few issues that were discovered and handled afterwards, and I guess this would be outside of the initial project. We did have some theme customizations for some small things like color. There were some form subscription settings that needed to be modified, and some default assignment notification preferences. Again, these were all things that they didn't present themselves during testing, so the Oculus IT team was able to make the change in our test environment and then let us validate that that was what we were hoping to see, and then at that point then they would go ahead and perform it again in our production environment. So we've maintained that relationship with Oculus IT where they have anytime we request a change to the system, they will make the change and they'll do it in our test environment, ask us to validate it. Once we validated it, then we'll move it into production. They're very accommodating in terms of working around our downtime windows and outage windows, holidays, early mornings, evenings, whatever the case may be given the specific situation. So there's really not a lot of rigid lock-in or anything that maybe some other vendors might have where you're only set to be able to do things during their specific windows or whatnot. So we found that flexibility has worked really well on our campus. And the next slide, please. So I think at this point we'll pass it back to Paul and Tiffany, but I would just mention that if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out through the Oculus IT team, and they can get a hold of me and pass those questions along. You can also look for me on LinkedIn, just search for my name, or you can also email me. My email address is nathan.hensel, Hensal, @highland.edu, and you can drop me a message that way as well if I can be of any help with any of your institutions, if you're trying to decide maybe a direction to go, and if you want to hear how we did something specific within this project, that would be more than fine. I'd be happy to help with that. Paul, Tiffany?
Nathan, thank you for passing that back to us. We definitely will loop you back in with our discussion regarding the outcomes and the lessons learned. Essentially, this is just a bit of an overview of how the project was conducted and the steps and the tasks, basically. How we planned this entire project from a project management perspective, and the phases, which we covered. And how we did them. So, the first, for any of our the first and the most important thing is our kickoff call, in which we usually like to meet the members and their important POCs to basically essentially set up and share the escalation matrix and define who would be the key players in delivering the project at both ends. The next phase that we talk about is the discovery and envisioning phase, in which we basically observe and go through the current environment. This also kind of pretty much works like an audit of your existing environment to check how your current version is working, what version you're on, your disk space, IOPS, all those kind of things. Usually go through this, and once we have that, we're able to lay out the specifications and basically formulate the project plan to to set course for the project. The next phase is the installation phase, which talks in which in this case we have to upgrade to the version 2.6. This project happened a couple of a while ago, so the most latest version at that point of time was version 2.6. So we did the installation for that, along with the next phase, which was the customization phase. Just remember that all of these are currently happening in our test or dev environment. So basically, all the changes and everything do not impact your current Moodle, which is running in production. So the version for Moodle, needs to be installed, and the customization depending upon how exactly you need, followed by the migration. The next phase is the most critical phase, which is a testing phase. Usually, you'll observe that the testing does take a while longer. However, in the case for Highland Community College, the testing happened fairly quickly. The important thing is basically the availability of the resources at the client's end to ensure that all the bugs and everything, the environment is being tested correctly, and that we get the sign-off or the green light to then proceed to the next phase. The next phase is the team integration, which basically the team which is needed. That is pretty much the customization and beautifying the portal, and basically since you all know that Moodle is an open source LMS system, it's fairly customizable. So depending upon your need with respect to the kind of logos, the color background, and everything that you need, we can generate a theme and do that. And once it's done, then we import the users, and then follow up with then rolling this out into production and doing some further QA and testing before it goes live to everyone. So your admin people usually are the first people to get access to this, and followed by all your students and other faculty members. So that's basically a bit of an overview of how we like to proceed with our projects. And as you can see over here, the number of hours taken we had estimated initially to be 274 hours. However, due to the amazing availability of resources at Highland Community College, we were able to wrap this up within 182 hours, so approximately 8 weeks, with a very excellent customer satisfaction rating. I'm going to pass this back on to Nathan now to just talk a bit more about the lessons learned and the best practices.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul. As I had mentioned earlier, the project management oversight was superb. They did have a dedicated project manager that stayed on top of tasks and dates and deliverables, and really did a thorough job on keeping the project on track. Their technical expertise was excellent, and they did have experts for each key activity. They did have somebody separate for the shibboleth and identity management piece. They had somebody separate for application and customizations, and then they've transferred us to their ongoing support team now after the initial project was complete, and the team that does the ongoing support has been good as well. So concerns and customizations, they were very well accommodated. Like I mentioned earlier in the call, they do have a very flexible team. And what was nice too is, they would really have a discussion with us about things, just to make sure that we were following best practice implementation, and did not really let us hang ourselves. Although we often, did not often, make suggestions in terms of situations that would put ourselves in danger. But they were always mindful of, giving advice on why they think something is a good idea, or if maybe we should perhaps do it a better way. So, and post go live support has been exactly what we hoped for, with excellent response times that are both quick and professional, with resolutions to all of our questions. So all in all, it is a very good partnership for Highland to partner with Oculus IT for our Moodle support. Just to kind of summarize what I talked about on the call, we have many of the skills necessary to manage the environment, but there are just some of those skill sets that we found that Oculus IT was able to really price and deliver on, that just specifically fit our needs, both from a technical standpoint and also from a just an extra layer of service standpoint with a smaller IT staff. So we've found it to work out very, very well for us, and happy to answer any other questions if anybody would have any.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this, Nathan. We have a lot of questions which have come in during this duration of the webinar. So, I'll quickly read them out one by one. We have a quick question from Tony. He would like to know, which is the, have you upgraded to the most recent and the stable version of Moodle, or do you have any plans of migrating or upgrading your Moodle?
Yes, we do. We're hoping to be able to migrate over this coming summer semester if everything goes according to plan. So that's where we're at with that right now. Yep. Perfect.
Thank you so much for that, Nathan. And Tony, to answer your question, the current most stable version of Moodle is 3.0, and we would soon be working with Highland Community College to upgrade them to the most recent version. And we definitely, Highland Community College is also planning to make use of this promo that we have and getting it done for approximately $5,000. Moving on, we have a quick question from Heather, who would like to know, can they, and I think this would be more for our technical team over here, but Nathan, if you want to take a swing at it, they would like to know how was the upgrade process, from which version to which version did you migrate, and were you able to migrate straight away, or did you have any issues with that?
Well, what we did is we were coming from version 1.9, and that version was hosted by another hosting provider. So we ended up exporting each course and then brought the course into to a fresh Moodle 2.6 instance. Since we didn't have complete access and control to that entire other outsourced system, we really didn't have access, like at the file system level, to the entire course directory to be able to just pick up all the courses and have access to them. We really only had administrator level access into Moodle, through the Moodle administration page. So we needed to rely on a way to be able to get those courses out one at a time. It was a little bit tedious getting some of those courses exported and getting them imported into Moodle, but during our testing period, our LMS administrator was able to come up with a plan that met the faculty's needs in terms of which courses they needed in for a light summer semester that wasn't quite as full of courses as a fall or summer semester, and get all the courses they needed rolled in that fresh new Moodle instance. So that's a little bit about how we did the methodology in terms of getting the courses migrated over, and that was a 1.9 to a 2.6 migration when we did that at that point in time. I don't know if that answers the question you were looking for, if the technical team would add anything else to that.
Yeah, so basically, just to add on to what you said, there unfortunately, the way Moodle is, you can only migrate between one version to another. It's not a straight jump, like if you want to migrate from 2.2, say, and you want to migrate all the way up to 3.0. It's not really a straight up jump. It's a step-by-step upgrade, so it takes you from one version to another. Till you reach complete stability to the most recent and the most stable version. So yes, and I'm going to reiterate myself. We do have. You may read online about versions out to 3.2, but the current most stable version is 3.0, where we are planning to upgrade Highland Community College, and if anyone else interested. The next question which we have is from Diane, who would like to know is, if they would like to run a video on the Moodle server, are you aware of any plugins, or are you currently using any plugins to run videos?
Our LMS administrator would probably be better equipped to answer that question. He wasn't able to join us today. I apologize for that, but I'm not sure the specific plugins, if they're using those or not. I would have to take that down and get back to you on that one.
Dan, let me just quickly answer that. There is a multimedia plugin installed on Moodle, which can be installed, and using that you can upload your videos. However, that's not the most recommended approach, as you do use up a considerable space depending upon how many courses and how much space you have over there. What you can also do is you can incorporate video links on your courses to YouTube or any other third-party website. But to answer your questions, yes, there is a plugin which can be used, and you can always get in touch with us if you'd like more information regarding the same. The next thing, that we have, the next question which we have is from Doug, who would like to know, sorry. Yes, Doug would basically, the question is what kind of, support activities, do you use Oculus ID services for? So, Nathan, if you just want to walk us through with that.
I'm sorry, Paul, I missed the question. You said it was what kind of support for what was it?
So basically, the question is, what all activities or what all support tickets do you use for the support provided by Oculus ID?
What support activities do we use you guys for?
Yes.
So we don't use Oculus IT. Let me start it from this way. We don't use Oculus IT for student support or faculty support. Our campus staff still all handle those. And between IT and our LMS administrator, we're usually able to resolve a good portion of those. What we do end up using Oculus IT for are customizations that we want done on the system that usually involve either modifications to the database or modifications to custom scripts. We did do some custom automatic course registration. We did that as a separate project after the initial migration project, and when we did that, we used them. They build the custom scripts for us and then set them up through cron to run at a scheduled interval. We use them for a lot of the integration things with Shibboleth, and we use them for just any sort of peculiarities that are going on within the system, something that we think is just could use some research, something that our staff may not have the time to research or expertise to research in something specific within Moodle itself, and then we will open up a ticket with them and they will work on that and correspond with us during that.
Right. So basically, just to add on to what Rebecca, what Nathan just covered over here, basically we cater to all types of user supports, be it an end user support or from an admin support or instructor support. Any kind of customizations, anything which is any course-related issues, you're unable to access the course, or you would like to get rid of your old courses or add people to the course, or anything for that matter, we can cover during in this support the support activities. What we can also do is, there's the development of e-learning courses, course translations, site migrations, plugin setup and configurations. These are certain activities which come to mind when I think about Moodle support and the tickets that we receive from our members and the assistance which they need. So I hope this gives you a bit of an overview, Doug, and answers your question. If you need more clarity, you can always ask on this web questions pane or get in touch with us for more details. The next question that we have, and this is from Jediah, who would like to know if you're currently hosting your Moodle environment?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And are you hosting your Moodle environment with Oculus ID?
No, we're hosting it on campus infrastructure. Our campus has 2 data centers that are fully virtualized. So we had and have the infrastructure to handle that. And it was running a Linux operating system that our team is already comfortable supporting. So we made the choice based on our level of redundancy and for power and for communications infrastructure and data recovery that we would have better access to the system and we would retain ownership of that information and that data if we were to keep that on campus and leverage our infrastructure. So we because of some of the struggles we had with our previous provider and just not having as much access to the system, that was something that did enter into our decision making on why we chose to bring that back onto campus and host it. And quite honestly, it has just really not been an issue or a problem. Hosting it has not added any workload. It has significantly made life a lot easier. I'll just give you an example of one that just happened here this past week. That had deleted a grade, and I have no idea why. And those of you who might be in IT support can understand these things just happen all the time. All sorts of different folks. She deleted a grade back in early December, and I think now just this week had discovered that she needed a grade. Well, of course, our campus, we keep a fairly lengthy tape rotation, off-site storage, and disk-to-disk storage, multi different ways of keeping things backed up that previously our hosting provider did not have even anywhere close to that sort of retention policy or plan in place for keeping data. We were able to pull that grade back for her and get the grades back, and that worked out very, very well. And I think that's just another advantage of that, where you can really kind of customize and tailor some of those things that that you're really at the mercy of whatever the hosting provider is to be able to provide for you. So we were already providing those same sort of retention and recovery plans and procedures for the rest of our campus data, and now Moodle's just incorporated into that as well, which has been beneficial to us.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Nathan. That was, quite detailed. I would just like to add on over here is that Oculus ID does host the Moodle and LMS solutions for almost 100 institutions right now, close to an approximate figure. Oculus ID, we have our own data center located in Cleveland, Ohio. We are also partnered with Amazon and Microsoft to provide cloud hosting solutions. So if you're looking to host your Moodle on the cloud for better availability, getting rid of the existing hardware, trying to cut down on costs, having the universal access, scale up, auto scaling options. All of those, if you're looking to for a cloud hosting solution, please do reach out to us, as we definitely can help you provide the best solution and the best practices for that. There are a couple of activities. There's certain further advantages when it comes to specifically the cloud hosting with us, which is that we have a 24/7 NOC environment to proactively monitor and manage your Moodle. So we monitor your CPU, your memory, disk IOPS, application disk space, your processes, databases, services, whatever have you, on a 24/7 environment. And if any issue happens, we usually have a chat, SMS, email, and a call procedure to reach out to you and advise you that you are having issues with your Moodle, and this is something which needs to be looked into ASAP. And what you can do right now is, if you are if you're not interested, if you are not looking for a hosted solution and would just like to utilize the monitoring services, we do have this promo over here, which you can utilize and have monitoring services and a couple of support hours over there for $2,500. Just before I close this out, we've talked about our upgrade projects, and we've also covered mostly the monitoring promo. I just want to talk a little bit about the Moodle audit. It's very important we highly recommend this. It's really important to maintain your Moodle and to ensure that your Moodle is optimized. We do have cron jobs which we can run to ensure that your Moodle is optimized in the best manner. Alongside with that, it's important to clear out your cache and your temp files from time to time and monitor your disk storage and remove your old courses to ensure that your disk is not overutilized. That's just a high-level overview of what we cover in our Moodle audit. Once we definitely get into the system, it does get into more detail, and over a period of time, we've observed that while the Moodle audit may be, we may term it for a couple of hours, whenever we get into the audit, we see that we need more hours simply because it's such a we get into such details that it's important to ensure that your Moodle, especially because it's in production and pretty much the heart of your institution is running correctly. So make use of these 3 promos while they last, and reach out to the person who's invited you to this party. Before I close this out, I want to thank again all the institutions who have delved into today's webinar, and a special thanks to Nathan for his time. He's a very busy man, so thank you so much for taking out time for us, Nathan. We really appreciate it, and we definitely look forward to working with you and all the other institutions who have delved into today's webinar. As the next step, you can see our details over here. You can drop an email to paul_rai@oculisid.com, or just respond back to the person who's invited you to this party to set up a one-on-one session, and we'd be more than happy to take it from there. This concludes our webinar for today. This is Oculus ID signing off. Thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.